Hello and welcome to MCFC 9320 PUBcast versus the Mancunian way. First and foremost, apologies, guys. I had to take a really important phone call. Couldn't avoid it. But thanks to everybody who's in the comments already. Muddy Duck, Big Morg, Michael, Keith, FIFA, Blue Goat, Big Morg, Pardo Oaks. Yeah, everybody. So,
caught me off guard.
A little insight into why me and Martin are doing this tonight. We had a phone conversation mid last week, Martin, where it didn't get heated as such, but probably the first time ever since I've known you, our opinions varied, didn't they?
Yeah, you basically went into meltdown.
No. So a little insight for the guys. Evening, Adam, and whoever's on Facebook. Just put your name on, guys. I've not got access to my Facebook. So we was talking about the potential outgoings this summer at City, which could potentially, at the time when we spoke, potentially it could have been 10 players. And Martin, bless his little cotton socks, was going, well, it's not a bad thing. We need a refresh. So I said, yeah, we need a refresh, but we can't afford to let 9, potentially 10 players leave the club at once. But Martin seemed okay with that. Martin also said, if we brought some of the kids in and stuff like that, and we didn't win anything next season, he'd be fine with that, which I totally respect, because I know where he's coming from on that one. However, the fan base and the club wouldn't really accept that. Over to you, my good friend.
I mean, I don't care what other fans think. It's what I think personally.
Absolutely, mate.
No, at the end of the day, I'll start on the I ain't bothered. I've said it on my channel thousands of times. I ain't bothered if we don't win trophies. The trophies are the extra part for me, the fun part.
The cherry.
Yeah, the cherry on the cake. Yeah, I'm not, and maybe I'm talking from a dinosaur point of view.
If you're not that bothered, how come you got a picture behind you with trophies, mate?
No, I'm bothered. Of course, listen, I enjoy winning the trophies. I enjoy winding rivals up. I enjoy all the success, but I know one day this success will stop. As it did for Liverpool, as it did for United, as it did for Blackburn, as it did for Chelsea, as it did for Barcelona, as it has done for Real Madrid, eras come to an end. And my whole point of that is, I ain't in this. Listen, the pots behind, like you said, are the cherry. But is that going to stop me trotting down to the Etihad week in, week out, or travelling 400 miles down to London or whatever? No. But to caveat that, to keep everyone happy, you need a refresh.
Mm-hmm.
You got to look at it this way. When you are in a situation of power, standing still is the last thing. Standing still is actually going backwards. What you do is you build and you build and you build. Yeah?
Yeah, go. I'm just listening, mate. Go on.
You build upon it. And Blackburn's success did end. They won the league and they thought they were going in the Champions League and going to do something. And they got beat by Spartak Moscow in the opening group stage.
Mm-hmm.
And they had all their money at the time. They were getting, if you remember, when I mean by Blackburn, they were getting to cup finals, if you remember, under Walker. They were getting to community shields. They were getting to all sorts of things. I'm not saying they were winning them, but they were in the finals. They were filling the ground. Everything else was hunky-dory. Leicester City won the league, thought they were going to build on it. United kept winning the league. One thing Ferguson was very good at. What was Ferguson really, really good at, Andy?
I'm going to let you say before I bounce something back. And this is not... good evening, Elliot, and Man City champion. And this is not a set-up or anything. I think I know that well, what you're going to say now. Am I right in you was going to say he was good at refreshing his squad. However,
and when he couldn't, he took the exit door.
Absolutely, in 2013.
Took the exit door. When he couldn't compete no more, exit door, see you later, I can't compete.
It took the back door, as it were.
Pardon. It's only 8 o'clock.
So, I agree with that. So, as it stands, we're gonna talk about rumored, what, as in not what we think, but players, what are in the press, the media, etc., the written press, or on your social media, what potentially could be outgoings. And we went through these in our phone conversation the other day. I'm just going to quickly go through them, and then we can discuss them one by one. It's pretty much a team. Ortega, Walker, Gomez, Gundogan, Bernardo, Phillips, Cancelo, Palmer, Laporte, Mahrez. So there's potentially 10. Now, you was okay with that, and again, you will have the right to reply. You was okay with them because you said some of them was fringe players. I've not had a fringe for a long time, but I get what you mean, the fringe players. So
some of them are less than that.
Yeah, some of them are potentially less than fringe players, but we lose Walker, Gundogan, Bernardo, Mahrez, Laporte, even Ortega. Out of those, we're in the mire a little bit, aren't we? Yeah, obviously we'll bring players in, and we've got people like Peroni, Foden, Alvarez, etc. However, if we're solely going off rumored outgoings there, we could be in the mire next season. And if it goes to with what you're saying, you're not fussed on that. I totally respect what you're saying, and I know where you're going with that. Can you imagine the fan base? They will go into meltdown.
Yeah, I don't think all the fan base would. I think a good 75% would. 100% would go meltdown. But this is the problem. Let's go back to January of last year. January of this year, sorry. Do you remember the fan base?
Yep.
Meltdown because we were second in the league. And nobody tell me there was no meltdown. There was a meltdown.
There's a meltdown when we don't get a throw-in, mate.
Yeah, true. Listen, and I don't always take some of these fans on the Twitter sphere don't know, and sadly I just did it for glory, and when the glory stops, they stop. Not saying everyone is like that, but there are some fans who are like that, whether we like that or not. When the trophies stop, they will move on to another football club. And that's only because, by the way, carry on that is, I think there's a big difference between English fans and the rest of the world fans.
Mm-hmm.
I think an English fan, that's nothing bad. It's just as an English fan over here, you are born, you support one football club and you never leave that football club.
Yeah, I get
it's a bit more.
I get that, but certain elements of some foreign fans, they follow the players rather than the club. I get that.
Yeah, and if they don't do well, off they pop somewhere else. I get all that. And I respect it. It's up to them. Their choice. This thing, and I know what you're saying, and everyone will tell me City's changed now and they'll revert back to the Caldoon interview and everything else. The point is, football right now is more competitive than it's ever been. I don't care what anyone says about 20 years ago about United or everything else. It's more competitive than it's ever been.
The game's changed beyond belief.
Totally. Newcastle United will come. Don't think they're going to come as quick as they think they're going to appear onto the horizon, but they will eventually land. Liverpool will come back. Chelsea will come back. All these teams are going to come back. I am just saying is that I think it will be a very sad day if we go to a point where we're trophyless in a season and there is a whole meltdown over it. I think that's sad. Sorry,
right.
I think it's a sad day.
So let's just go off Pardo Oaks there, and I get what he's saying there. City will not make 9 or 10 changes this year. Nonsense. I totally get that, mate. And I'm with you. I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. We're solely going off like the speculation and stuff like that. And this stream has come about a conversation what me and Martin had on the phone the other day. So what for the purpose of this stream, we're going to go off the rumored 9 or 10. What's in the media now? Yeah, we will bring players in. You know, Gabby Doll, Rice, which I don't think will happen. I think that's a non-starter, in my humble opinion. Kovacic, etc. So yeah, we will be bringing players in. However, those 9 or 10 players are rumored to be leaving. Thankfully, since the conversation and we plan to do the stream, looks like Kyle Walker is going to renew with us, which for me is brilliant because although Laporte pulled us through, and quite rightly so, last season, and he's still getting the plaudits for it, although be it a little bit sentimental in my opinion, because there's no room for sentimentality, if that's the right word. We've got Walker in the same respect, who, for me, pulled us through the back end of this season. I'm delighted Walker staying. Martin, you've got a different thought on Walker, aren't you, about and Gundo, to be fair. And I understand your concerns about Gundo with if he did renew and he wasn't performing great next season, fans would be on his back.
Two things on that. Gundogan's starting to pee me off a little bit.
I get that.
And not because, listen, this is not, I'm at a point of, this is where we've got to think about it. We're Manchester City fans. We are supporters of the football club. Right now, we cannot make any moves anywhere until Gundogan makes that decision. That's now what has been reported. And as you say, we're only going off what's been reported. This has been going on for 2 months. I understand the treble situation. We're in finals, so you don't want to talk about it. I get it. That was nearly 2 weeks ago. And we are still none the wiser of where we're going. It's okay with Fabrizio and everyone else going, City keep making tentative offers for Declan Rice. They keep doing this. They keep asking West Ham to be kept alert of the situation.
Do you think we're even remotely interested in Rice? I don't.
I think there's interest there. Yeah, I do think there's interest there. But again, the problem is the interest. You can't do anything until somebody makes his mind up. My personal thing is, I think Gundogan's waiting on a certain club to sort out their crap at the other end.
Barcelona, because and again, since our conversation, mate, Gundogan's already come out and said. It was asked about Dortmund, and he went Dortmund. He said, and he even ruled out the Bundesliga. So for me, he's holding. So is it the time then, as much as we love Gundo, to say, listen, we come first. Move on then.
It comes back to my old saying: which one is this? The tail wagging the dog, or the dog wagging the tail? Which one's going on here?
Don't start agreeing with me now, because we didn't have an agreeing the other day.
We'll get into that bit in a minute. And Gundogan has to also respect Manchester City as well. As of now, Gundogan is gone.
Yep, it's been released.
He's been released. He's gone. The trouble is, though, we're not moving on other targets because we may have this thing of Gundogan comes back. Fine, I understand that. But we can't be doing this. Gundogan is probably due on his holidays after. I'm not sure if there's still internationals or there's one tonight. I don't know where they're all at even at anymore.
I think I'm not sure. The guys in the comments might be able to tell us. I think the last internationals are tonight, so I'm expecting some movement. Most certainly by the end of the week.
Yeah. Now apparently they've given until the end of the week, so you're looking 2 more days. Where's your decision? Make your decision, because for me it's very much like game of dominoes. Everything's lined up, you're waiting for the first one to drop. The problem is Gundogan won't make his mind up. Bernardo Silva, we all know, he's waiting on is currently in negotiations with PSG. We can't do anything until them two have made their decision. My point is, though, by the time they've made their decision, our targets will have already gone somewhere else. Then where do we go?
Absolutely. With regard, right, with what beyond belief. Good
That's
evening.
the only
by the
time
way.
we're going to agree, by the way, in this whole stream at this point.
No, but yeah, potentially, right. So it is another point. A chance to promote the youth. I get that, and Martin's a big advocate of that. Massive. However, not necessarily my opinion, but something what we touched upon at the beginning of the stream. Okay, then we bring McAtee back and we bring sort of like all the youth through and stuff like that. Do you think the fan base or the club would settle for that? Potentially, not just not winning something for a few years, but not qualifying for, say, European competitions, which is going to cost us a lot of money, but also potentially getting beat a lot of the time and stuff like that. Is that not a sign of going backwards?
When I say youth, technically 12 months ago, I gave up on the youth. Man, I've said to you, and people who watch my channel, it's as I call it, a meat factory. Bring them in, make the money, send them out. The problem is you've got, in January, we bought Perone for 8 million quid.
Yep.
Now, I always thought the kid will come in, he'll go out. You then hear from Perone himself, who says, I was only going to join a club. One of my conditions was I didn't get farmed out. I wasn't coming just to get farmed. Yep. I turned down Newcastle, I turned down other clubs to come to Manchester City. But then he's hardly on a bench. Wasn't even making the squad a lot.
I know he was injured at the back end of last season. However, I still don't think he was close to a starter.
Yeah. So my point is, people have talked about getting him in. There's then talk about McAtee coming back. Where'd you play him?
Is he good enough, first and foremost?
I think he's better than Palmer.
Different kind of plays, but I'll get where you're going. So, okay then. In defence of Cole Palmer here for me, right? And even Phillips, if you like, and even Gomez. There's no reserve team football like there used to be back in the day. So you've got players now coming on for the last 3 or 4 minutes. How are they supposed to perform at the highest level of the Premier League with playing a few minutes when they're not going to be up to match speed? Now, if there was reserve team football, etc., they'd be getting minutes constantly every week. Like they used to be, like players who didn't get in the first team, etc. They're getting match practice. There's none of that now. So I feel a little bit sorry for the likes of your Phillips, your Palmer, your Gomez. And then you look at somebody like Ortega, even less likely he's going to get on in the league unless your number one is injured. And you don't want your number one to be injured because is a number one for a reason.
This is where when I say 9 or 10 I'm okay with, I know 5 of them aren't really going to make it. And they're not. I'm not saying, when I say 9 or 10 I'm okay with, I'm not looking at 9 or 10 first team players out the door. I'm including your Gomez's, your Perone is on loan, you know what I mean? I'm talking that sort of level down as well.
In that 9 to 10, Peroni wasn't even in the list, mate.
No, I understand that, but it's like in that 9 to 10, you were including Cancelo. Cancelo's already gone out of my mind. He's already not part of the squad.
No, but he's still on the books, mate. He's still he's still on the books.
Jamie Pollock was on the books till 2001, and he only just. That's a joke, by the way.
Yeah, I think we're still playing for. Nobby's wages, aren't we? What's he called?
Still playing Freddie McGoldrick.
Hey, leave our Eddie alone. He's a friend of the show. Is our Eddie?
No, listen. I wouldn't know problem with Eddie McGoldrick. I think he's was a fabulous player for Manchester City.
And he's a top class human being as well.
I've never met him. I couldn't know. I think if you look at, you want to go through them one by one.
Okay. And yeah, there's rumor of a new contract for Ortega, but also there's rumor that he wants first team football. Now, yeah, everybody needs a good number 2, as it were. However, we could end, and since our conversation as well, James Trafford, is touted as coming back. However, even he's gobshiting a little bit now, saying that he wants first team football.
This is the problem.
So, in a way, we're victims of our own success. Don't start agreeing with me, because you didn't the other day.
But this is what I was saying to you the other day. We can't say to the likes of Kyle Walker, yes, stay, that's great, but you're kind of not going to play a lot next season in the big games. And it goes back to a conversation I had, and I've said this to you and everyone else about Spencer Pryor. It's not about the games time. It's the type of games.
It's the quality of games.
Yeah. Riyad Mahrez doesn't want Sheffield United in the semi-final at Wembley. Whether he scored an hat-trick or not, he doesn't want that. He wants the final. He don't want the semi-final. And if he's going to get offered a mountain ton of money to go somewhere else and play week in, week out, then good luck to him. Manchester City have always had this attitude. If you don't want to be here, there's the exit door. In a way, it's probably our own downfall a bit because we're too nice. We play this game of, if you're not happy, leave. The trouble is, for the first time ever last season, Pep generally had a set 11 for his big games.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be straight here before anyone, and this is where we've got to be honest. We've got to take the recency bias out. I heard the other day someone went, Kyle Walker was amazing against Bayern and Madrid. Never played against Bayern. But in our own minds, we've stuck Kyle Walker into the Bayern game somewhere. He never played.
I think a lot of people
against the game because he was injured. Kazaki was injured.
It doesn't matter. It's how he performed when he played, and he's shown the right attitude when he came in, which took us on that crest of the wave towards the end of the season. In my thoughts,
so it was a great attitude reportedly after the final when he threw his dummy out.
I wouldn't want him to go, I didn't play, but you know something, I'm not bothered about not playing. I want to see a bit of pride.
This is my point. We're looking at the 2 great performances against Real Madrid. We're not looking at the season overall. This is my point on it. It was like when we did the player of the season, people going Gundogan. Gundogan only came to the party with 12 games left.
Okay, let's talk about Walker then. And it's not his fault that he got put into an inverted position when he's never played there in his life, and
Agreed.
and it's only then he found himself out of the team for Rico Lewis. So that's not Kyle Walker's fault.
No, but and this is something I did say during the season. And if anyone, again, I said you can't treat an old dog new tricks. Can't do it.
But that old dog, you know what he's good at, and he's shown what he was good at against Real Madrid, mate. He's shown what he was good at against Arsenal at home. It's Walker.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So we know what he can do. He's arguably the best right back in Premier League history. Right. So why we've got to be careful here with. And it's not a criticism of Pep. God forbid it's not a criticism of Pep. But what I'm saying is, Pep is not playing Kyle Walker to Kyle Walker's strengths. However, Pep is playing the team to our strength, which I totally condone, because proof's in the pudding with what we've won and the style of football we play. But that's not Kyle Walker. If his only crime is he spat his dummy out because he didn't play in the final, I'm happy with that because I don't want a player being happy because he didn't play.
Are you forgetting January?
Well, when he got caught with his pants down.
No. Can you name me the Grumpy 5?
Yeah, Diaz was one of them, mate.
I know he was. Walker was one of them. So it isn't the first time. I'm not trying to dig Walker out. If Walker stays, fine. No problem with that if he wants to sign the extension. I'm happy either way, whichever way he wants to do. At his age and the way he's performed for Manchester City, if he wants to leave for pastures new to get more time, let's be honest, at the time, he's Bayern Munich. This is not Sheffield United even. This is Bayern Munich. At 32 years of age, or is he 33 or whatever he is, he's not going to get that opportunity ever again. So if we offer him a contract, great. But he has to accept he may not play all the games. And he has to be okay with that. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to go into next season listening, keeping all these players, then adding more, and then people go, and then I'm aiming about Cancelo again, a Laporte again.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that, mate. Because we need a refresh because that's what set us and Liverpool apart this season, as we both know and we spoke about tirelessly. We need a refresh. There's no time for sentiment with some players because listen, some of these players will go. Gundo, Bernardo. I'll use those two at the moment as an example. We didn't think we'd recover when Yaya went. How are we going to replace him? How are we going to replace? How are we going to replace Company? How are we going to replace Aguero or Silva? We don't exactly replace them like for like with a player, but we replace them by playing a different formation like we have done with Sonny.
Maybe that's why I'm more relaxed. That's why I'm more relaxed because let's put on wait. We've lost Aguero, Company, Zabaleta. We lost, like you all said, Nate Fernandinho went last year. Everyone was we went and won the treble. Yes, we had to change the formation, but is that not credit on Pep Guardiola?
Absolutely.
So all I'm saying is, like I said, when I'm okay, when was the last time Manchester City had a massive refresh? We went out and spent 250 million quid. Can you remember?
The early days we were splashing it about a bit, but
17, 18.
Yeah, but over the past 3-4 years, we're more or less in credit.
No, this is what I'm saying. No, people worried about all these players. In 17-18, we bought Laporte. We brought somebody who we released from Monaco. I'm not going to mention his name. We bought Kyle Walker. We bought Edison. We bought Bernardo Silva. We brought in Danilo. We brought in Douglas Luiz. We brought in quite a lot. Foden came into the front. We let go. Iheanacho, Bonet, Aaron Moy, Nolito got left out. Fernando got left. Kolarov went. Nasri went. Joe Hart went. Dinaya went. Gail Clichy went. Zabaleta went. Jesus went. So all of them. So we had 9 or 10 out and we brought 6 or 7 in. We got the Centurions the year after.
No, hang on. Wait, all them players you've just named, we didn't get rid of in one hit.
We did in one window. We did.
Who did we get rid of in one window?
In that 17-18 window, we got Iheanacho went to Leicester for 28 million. Boney went for 13 million. We let Aaron Moy went out to Huddersfield for 10 million. Elito
he wasn't Aaron Moy.
All right, then we'll put Aaron Moy in the same thing as Perone then, or Gomez, is what I'm saying.
Perone's not in this list, mate.
All right, Nolito then, 7 million. He only came for a season.
By the way, how did we get 13 million back for Bono?
Fernando, the octopus, went to Galatasaray. Kolarov, Sami Nasri went out. Joe Hart went out. I mean, remember the hoo-ha when Joe Hart went. We lost Jesus Navas. Zabaleta went to West Ham. We lost quite a lot of so-called experience out the door that season. And we went on and became Centurions the year after.
Listen, as much as we like Zabaleta, is no Kyle Walker, right? Some of the others you've just mentioned, they're no Gundogan or Bernardo, or for that matter, Cancelo. It's the quality.
Centurions.
Eh?
We did Centurions.
We didn't let 10 go in the Centurions.
We did.
We didn't.
That summer we let 9 or 10 go.
Listen.
And we brought... Remember, if you remember, we were buying everyone. We were being linked with everyone. But do you remember it? We woke up. The season had finished, and we woke up, and I think it was 2 days before Bernardo Silva had been linked to United. Do you remember? It was all done. We'd never even been linked with Bernardo Silva, and then all of a sudden we woke up 2 days after the season was done. I think it was like 7 a.m. in the morning. Bernardo Silva signed to Manchester City, and we all went, "Where's that come from?"
With Mendy.
Exactly. Told you I was going to do my research coming into this. But the point is, we bought. That was when we had the proper refresh. The proper refresh, and
It's
we went
different
on
now,
and did
mate.
it. And no, all I'm trying to say is, when I say I'm okay with 9 or 10, I'm not talking 9 or 10 first teamers out the door. Or some of them are the fringe, less than fringe. Whether people like it or not, Sergio Gomez is not going to make it at Manchester City. I've got eyes. I've watched the guy play. He ain't good enough. He ain't good enough. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. The guy is not good enough. He will be gone.
I think that's pretty much a universal opinion to most City fans. To be fair, although he has said in an interview, a conversation he's had with Pep, Pep's comfortable with him.
No. I think Pep says that to everyone. Pep says to everyone, "I'm happy for you to fight."
He's not said it to me.
If you heard every player, I had a word with Pep, he wants me to fight. Jesus was coming out with it. You never heard a dicky bird about Jesus moaning about playing time until he rocked up to Arsenal.
Okay. Let's go through a few comments then. Pardo Oaks, how did Foden get through to the first team then? Totally agree. You always get somebody, regardless, will break through. Yeah, you will get them what break through, and you can't help. But I for every good one like that, you've got 20 what won't make it. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But for me, a successful academy is getting players through, not necessarily playing for City, but making a good career for themselves, be it at another club. You know, we get a few quid for it, which pays for the academy. Ideally, you want them players to come through and play for you, especially the Mancunian ones. Of course you do. However, that's not possible all the time. But you do get the odd exceptions. Tommy Doyle, for instance, he's out on loan. Taylor Bellis, he's out on loan. These players what are out on loan.
I would sad for him. I remember watching his debut at Deepdale.
Yeah,
and I thought this kid's going to make it. Didn't.
Okay. It's the same with Tosin. Pardon the pun. Fulham.
Tosin Adebayo. I don't know his name.
But listen, in my humble opinion, we've got to have a reality check and think. Listen, just because they're Mancunians and they're in the academy, don't mean to say they're good enough. We want them to be good enough. Of course, we want them to. I want everyone who plays for us to be good enough. But I think we've got to give our heads a little bit of a wobble and think, listen, if we're happy as City fans, right, universally, not just isolated, whether it's me, Martin, or yourselves, if we're happy for us to go with just academy players or the majority of academy players who we think are good enough or they've come through the academy, let's see where it gets us.
It's a massive jump, Andy, from academy to...
Totally.
The jump is light years. And like Pardo's put on, what's the point of the academy? The academy's there for two reasons. To unearth a gem. And also to get around FFP.
Yeah.
Let's be straight here with this. Like I said, it's a meat grinding factory.
Listen, I'm not one to name drop, but I had this conversation with Paul Lake on one of our shows. Lakey totally agrees with me. The idea of an academy is, of course, you want players to come through, like I've just said, and play for you, because there's nothing more special than a kid who comes from your own town playing for you and being brilliant. Like your Foden and potentially your Rico Lewis's. However, you can't bring all them through because a lot of them are simply not good enough for us. However, they will be good enough. No disrespect to a lower league teams or anything like that, or lower Premier League teams, Championship teams, etc. They'll be good enough, and that's their level there. They'll want to make a brilliant career for themselves, earn whatever money. We get a few quid for it, and that is paying for our academy. So, yeah, financial fair play does come into it. You're absolutely right, Martin. It's just we need a bit of a reality check on academy quality versus what we really, really want and accept.
Yeah. Just going back to the Walker thing, just to round that off from my point of view, I'm happy if Walker wants to stay. But are you okay? Then let me revert the question round back to everyone there in the comments. Rico Lewis made 14 appearances this year in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
I think 14 off the top of my head doing my research. If
Kyle
Walker stays, Kyle Walker might want to.
I'll school you about research, mate.
Kyle Walker, I've just told you about the refresh in 17-18, and you were like, "What? I forgot all about all that." No, he's gonna look into that. No, but if you look at it though, at the time, would you be happy with Rico Lewis going on loan because this is the problem when they get a taste of the first team. Because this is the problem.
No, the reason why I'm shaking my head, mate,
has outgrown the EDS now.
Listen,
same way McAtee has outgrown the EDS.
Absolutely, and I think there's a.
So you know where I'm going with that point.
I know where you're going. There's a difference between a bloody Tommy Doyle and a Cole Palmer and a Rico Lewis. You know. And even I put McAtee in that as well because Pep always says if they're good enough, they stay with the first team. So Pep mustn't, although he wants to give McAtee time, and he must rate McAtee or see something in McAtee because he's given him a new contract. He's not give Tommy Doyle a new contract or Taylor Bellis a new contract. So Pep must know himself who is going to make it or has a great chance of making it and who's not.
Yeah. Name me one player who's gone out on loan from our academy who's come back.
None. I can't name one.
McAtee will probably be the first one if he makes it. And for me, I think McAtee will just swap round with Palmer.
I don't think McAtee will come back into the squad next season.
Well, I read somewhere the other day on City Extra. I don't know where it came from. I think it was Paul Bollas who said it for The Athletic. Apparently, this is where you've got to read between the lines. We're only June the 20th. Think about this. And let's cast our minds back 12 months. Everything about McAtee was he's not going on loan. He's not going on loan. If you remember another channel, I can't remember it was, whether it was Steam Company or someone else, did a big stream about McAtee's not going anywhere. I've been told he's part of the first team next year. Then all I said was, let's just wait and see at the end of the window where we're at. Then it was he signed a new contract, so it means he must stay. Then it went another 3 weeks. The next minute, he was on loan Sheffield United. Because McAtee had gone into Pep and said, I just don't want to spend the year on the bench. If you want me to stay, I want proper game. I want proper game time. And Pep went, I can't guarantee you that. I'm sorry.
That's why Lavia went.
So he went.
That's why Lavia went.
Why Lavia went. Then the other issue, so then I've read between the lines and what's come out this time of, yes, they want McAtee to stay, but what's been said again is, let's see, they will reassess it towards the end of the window. That means two things to me. We'll see who we brought in. We'll see who we've let go. And we'll see what time we've got, whether we can fit you somewhere. Because what they're saying is, if we bring in who we've got and we keep who we want and we've sold who we want, there may be no room for you, James. So we might end up putting you back on the bench. This is the problem. He's not going to come back from winning Player of the Year at Sheffield United. I think he won Player of the Year anyway at Sheffield United to sitting on a bench at Manchester City. You've got to look at Manchester City in the same way you look at a Real Madrid now, a United, a Liverpool, in their pomp. I'm talking about now, right now, we're in our pomp, we're in our heyday. To get into this first team, you've got to be the dogs you know what. And the trouble is, if you're not there, and it's like you, Lavia, we all thought Lavia were going to come back. We're about to let him go to Arsenal because we don't see it in him. So
far. But, however, However, not only did we get a fee for him, a good fee going to Southampton, we'll also get a sell-on fee, which is the whole point about the academy. Now, listen, Lavia, he was a shining light for Southampton. However, it was Southampton who's been relegated. So, would Lavia be good enough to come into this team now? Who knows? Pep's a far better judge than any of us. But if Pep's not gone back in for him or let him go initially, to me, Pep says that's saying that Pep knows is not quite good enough. Absolutely, from Julie there. Absolutely.
That's
and that's why
he's on this.
That's why I comment on there.
Sentimentality needs to go. Needs to go. And I know this is why I dropped. This is why I ended my thought of, look, we lost Zaba, Clichy, Kolarov, Sanya. They all just disappeared. It was a case of, listen, when I say I don't mind not winning trophies, that's just me as a fan. I'm a fan no matter what, like all of you. We're fans no matter what, win, lose, or draw. You sit until you die. My point is, though, my whole dream is if I could get a lot of these academy lads in and go a year or two and just drop down to 6th or 7th or see where they go, brilliant. But I know that's not what the club want. What Martin Horsfield want means jack to the football club. They don't care about Martin Horsfield.
Although there's some bloggers and vloggers out there in the stratosphere what think that the club do listen to them, etc.
Yeah, the club does not think about the fans. The best news I heard of today was the simple fact that they're going to do the Bell-Lee and Summerbee, statues. Thank the Lord the club have seen sense on that.
Shouldn't that have been done before Aguero, Company and Silva?
100% should have been done. And why there is no Joe Mercer statue yet, I do not know. Because I don't want a mosaic at the top of Joe Mercer Way. I want a statue of the great man. Forget that. This is why I get so uppity when people go, give Gundo a statue, give Yaya a statue. What for? No. To get a statue, I personally think they went too early on the other statues. You want my honest opinion? I think they went a bit too early on the other ones. I think there was people long before them should have got statues.
What, do you mean the David Silva, the Vincent Kompany and the Tony Cruz one?
Yeah, I think they were all too soon. I don't think anyone should get a statue while they're still playing football. That's just my opinion.
What's the purpose of the academy then? Pretty much, first and foremost, the priority is to bring players through. However, if they're not good enough, you're getting some money for them to contribute for your financial fair play, to run your academy. But for me, it's just as important to give that, rather than you find yourself, listen, other clubs other than, say, City, I'm sure there's other clubs, but we can only speak for City. Look back to where, I'll use an example. Sean Wright-Phillips got booted out of Nottingham Forest because he was too small and not good enough. He was thrown by the wayside. That happens to players every single season, up, not just up and down the country, probably up and down the world, right? City have got that. What have they got? They've got that the Duke, they've got that the care for them, where they want them to go out and succeed somewhere. So they'll try and find them, they'll try and get them fixed up with clubs, etc. and stuff like that. Not every club does that. So you will get players coming to City, even if they don't make it, they will know that they're going to be looked after. They're not just going to be thrown to the wayside. But
you've got the CFG under.
Yeah, and I'd love nothing more than players to come through, like I keep saying. I'd fill you with so much pride. Imagine 11 Mancunians playing for you every single week. No better thought. But in reality, you've not got 11. You've not got 11 Scousers playing for Liverpool. You've not got 11 Geordies playing for Newcastle. It just simply doesn't happen.
I mean, haven't we got I think we got a percentage sell on to Lavia anyway. Whether he goes anywhere, we get a percentage.
Yeah, we have got sell on.
So that's also money. we got a percentage of the Sancho. The thing is, it's like City. City will sit down with all these academy players, and he'll sit down with all his staff, and he'll go, "What do you think? What do we think of this?" They'll speak with all the staff. Jason Wilcox at the time, but obviously he's gone. And I think didn't exactly BB's spot on. He made about 120 million out the academy last season. That's also the purpose of it.
That's enabling the first team to give us the success what we're seeing on the pitch.
Do you know the big thing here? We're talking about transfers. I'm only saying I am happy when I say with all these players going out.
Before you say that, man, FIFA, that the women's game is regulated differently, mate. They've got different T's and C's for the women's game. I'm not saying that's right, but that's just factual. That's for another show, maybe.
Yeah, and they've just given that plonker a new contract as well for some weird reason. So hey ho, I'm with Anne-Marie on that one. How he's got a new contract, I do not know. But hey ho, we'll move on that one. And you know what I mean by that. Sorry, GT, but you needed to be scrapped and gone, mate. Like Walker will improve Rico Lewis. I get that, but Kyle Walker's not. You put Walker out of pasture. He doesn't want to. He wants to improve Rico Lewis, but he doesn't want Rico Lewis in front of him in the team.
And Pep's already said Rico Lewis was brought in to show Kyle Walker how to play the inverted role. So it's not like it's not like the master teaching the pupil; it's the pupil teaching the master. In many.
What was the reason Rico Lewis was brought in? And he was fast tracked because, by the way, he wasn't playing for EDS at the time.
No.
I think he'd played twice for the EDS. He was captain of the under-18s. He got fast tracked because for 7 years on the bounce. I like that one. For 7 years on the bounce, he'd been playing. Because this is the problem. This is where Pep. So when you see the first team playing 3-2-2-3, it's not just the first team playing that. The EDS play it. The under-18s play it. The under-17s play it. The under-40, it goes right the way down. So what you had in Rico Lewis was someone who'd done 6-7 years of playing that inverted role, going, hello, in you come, you know exactly what I want. Kyle Walker was like headless chicken. I don't know what to do at this point. I can't do it. Which and when Pep came out and went, I'm sorry, he's piss poor at this job. Can't do it. Sorry. In
defence of Martin there, or even me, FIFA, it's not causing unnecessary problems. And Martin didn't say put Rico on loan to send him out on loan. Martin said, would you like to see Rico go out on loan? But what Martin, and I'm not speaking for Martin as such. The way I read it from Martin was, of course you wouldn't want to see Rico go on loan because he's got more quality than sending somebody out loan to gain experience, not necessarily experience, but confidence and having to know what the first team want. Rico's already ingrained in that. So sending somebody like a Rico out on loan would never. Pep would. I tell you what, I'd die on the spot if Pep sent Rico out on loan. In my opinion, that would not happen. Cole Palmer, I can see.
You've got Gavardio coming in. Do you know what I can see him doing next year? A back line of just centre backs.
Which we've pretty much, and it's interesting what they said about Akanji as well, because nobody expected Akanji to play as many games. But again, because there's been no football, I've been doing a bit more reading and listening to interviews and stuff like that. With Akanji, it's all started off from his mental arithmetic and stuff like that, how intelligent he is. Pep try and coach his players, tells them so many times what he wants. And he has to tell them so many times. With Akanji, he tells Akanji once, and Akanji knows exactly what he wants. That's why it's been easy transition from Akanji going from centre back to right back to left back, playing inverted. Akanji gets it straight away. That's a rarity, though. That is a rarity, and that's why Akanji's been preferred over Ake, who, in my opinion, is arguably the player of the season. But I get that from Pep.
If you look, if they're going to spend, and by the way, this has now been reported, they've agreed terms on Gavardio now. Now, Gavardio, you're looking about 85 million quid, which is about 100 million euros. They're not going to spend 85 million quid on a centre-back.
To sit on the bench.
So he's in. Diaz is going to play. John Stones is going to play. But he may be the invertedness. You've got a Kanja. You've got Ake. This is my thing about Walker. It's not so much I want Walker to leave. Let's understand that. I've never said I want Walker to leave. What I'm saying is I'm okay with it for the simple fact we have enough cover. And before we'd hit, I get 100% Kyle Walker was world-class, exceptional against Vinicius Jr. 100%. But Ake and Akanji were just as world-class against Bayern Munich. And they ain't got slow people in there on their wings either.
It's about position.
So all I'm saying is I don't want him to leave, but if it means I'm looking at it from a player's point of view here. If he is going to get less game time at Manchester City, he isn't going to turn down Bayern Munich. If he's happy to get less game time and play in a rotational system, then brilliant. Happy with that. But it's a bit like us in, say we were footballers and they said to you, we're going to roll you out for certain games. Well, they want to play games. They want to play. They don't want to roll out. We may not, this is hypothetically, what happens if we don't get to the semi-final of the Champions League? What happens if we don't get to, do you know what I'm saying? What does Walker do then? I mean, here's a question. How many appearances for Kyle Walker last season? He made 7 in the Champions League in total. 7. So that's all I'm saying. We just got to think about it sometimes in terms of who we want and how we want them. I'm totally fine with players staying.
I've just put 50p back in the meter.
I wonder what happened there. I'm totally fine with players staying. But if when I say 9 or 10, I'm talking Gomez's, I'm talking fringe. There's Kovacic and there's Gavardio. There will be more. But that's my issue with the Gundogan situation is Gundogan's got to make his mind up. Bernardo Silva has got to make the mind up now. Bernardo Silva can't keep going every transfer window. I want to leave. I'll see what happens in the next 2 weeks. Just make your damn mind up.
I think Gundo will go now, Martin, because Kovacic is coming in and that is Gundo's position.
But then Bernardo will go.
So if Bernardo goes, and again,
That's
we forget.
Why I think they are asking about Rice.
We've got a ready-made replacement for Bernardo, in my opinion, in that position, in Foden.
I think Foden's going to be used for KDB.
But not at the moment, because it's not as if KDB is going to be, God forbid, going this season, is he?
I'm going to say something really, really controversial. I would use KDB more sparingly next year.
Well,
the guy hasn't got 60 games in him.
And he shouldn't have to play 60 games like
Rodri shouldn't have to play 60 games. I'm all right. If Calvin Phillips wants to stay, fine. But you better buck up next year. Calvin Phillips, if he doesn't buck up, sorry, it's done time. And he has to start from the get-go. He has to come in from pre-season and fly. If I was Calvin Phillips, you know what I'd do? I'd be the first person back for pre-season, if not come back a couple of days early. I'd be the first one in. I'd do some training on my own. I would show Pep Guardiola, I am ready. I've changed. I'm ready to embrace this. If he comes back, happy as Larry, look at me. Sorry, no. He has something to prove whether he likes it or not. Because there is a player there, but he has to stop being scared. Our DM role is unlike any DM role around the world. It is a role. Everyone thinks a DM role is just stop the counter and play it. Oh, then no. Rodri does not play 5-yard sideways passes and that's it. Calvin Phillips is always looking safe. He's always looking for the okay option. Okay won't get you through this. Sorry, it won't. He's got to come back with the bit between his teeth, ready to fight with Rodri. Let's be fair here, he's 4 years older than Rodri. He's not acting it. That's all. But see, to me, when I say I'm okay with 9 or 10, that's on the condition we sign 6, 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we do that, I don't know. Mahrez, I don't think Mahrez will go anymore because that Al Hilal or whatever their name is, they seem to move to Neves.
Is that kebab shop on the corner of North Road?
I don't know. They seem to have gone with Neves, so it looks like. But you watch, Mahrez was having a bit of a strop at the back end of last season, if you remember.
But do you want players to be happy, not playing?
No, that's what I'm saying.
I want that. I want them to be pissed off.
Yes, I want them to be pissed off, but to a certain extent. For Pep to come out in the press in January and publicly say there is something wrong in training at the minute with their attitude meant there was something a bit more than just sulking going on.
Including, because one of those famous 5 was actually Diaz, mate. And look the way Diaz has
turned it around.
As soon as he come in, bloody hell, he's been an absolute rock for us. But
Nathan Ake could have gone to Chelsea last year for 40 million, 45 million quid.
And
he
Newcastle,
could have easy road and screwed it. And he went, no, I'm going to fight. If Calvin Phillips does that, I'll back him all the way. If Calvin Phillips wants to do an Ake and fight, then great.
And so did Laporte. Laporte needed to do that, but instead Laporte sulked. So poor Nathan Ake could find himself in a position again with Gabidol coming in that he's got to fight for his place again.
Yeah, but that's why I'm thinking he'll go all centre backs.
How many centre backs? 5, 6?
All right then. What positions do you think we'll buy?
I think we need 3 midfielders.
Yeah, 100% we on that.
Yeah.
Is this on Bernardo and Gundogan going?
Yeah, but we need an established wide man. But, be it right up, right or left, pretty much right. Now, if Alvarez is the answer to that, brilliant. But that'll still leave. We'll need support for when Haaland's not playing. So I don't know, mate. I just think going back to the original point, it's okay having a refresh of even 6, 7 players, say for instance, and you bring 6 or 7 players in. You've got to get them 6 or 7 players in a pre-season playing the Pep way straight away. You've got to have they've got to hit the ground running. Otherwise, you're still going to find yourself in trouble.
So I was waiting for someone to mention it because I knew they would. Someone's put Sane.
That's picking up momentum now, but it's ship sailed.
Not a chance.
It's not. We played differently.
Not a chance.
We played differently.
When I say it was going to say, when I say a winger, shouldn't really use the word winger.
Wide
midfielder.
Yeah,
is the way I'll call it. I think when Pep wants a wide man, you're looking at the Grealish, but for the other side. He doesn't want if he wanted to, Sane, Leao. Everyone said, let's go and get Leao. Said no interest in Leao. And there wasn't. There's no Sane, it's not happening. Sane can't do what Pep wants him to do. He's a brilliant player, but he just goes.
Okay, devil's advocate then. He never had to do. No, what I will say is he did do what Pep wanted him to do when Sane played for us, because we played that style. Who's to say if Sane come back, Pep wouldn't say, right, you used to do that, but now I want you to do this. Grealish is an example. He was an out-and-out winger for Villa. Now, Pep wants him to play slowly, catch the monkey, keep possession of the ball. But Sané's a different player than a Grealish.
Yeah.
Sané is a pace player.
Yeah. Listen, I watched him against Bayern and I thought, nah, your man changed. Great play going forward. No chance coming back. He's no interest coming back. He's not. When I meant that, Scrubber, I just meant in case, because I know some will go mad about that. I'm sick of getting to the last 5, 6, 7 games of the season and KDB playing on an injury. It's 3 years on the bounce. It's just we're using him too much. There needs to be. And plus, with the KDB, we need to start slowly integrating a replacement. And I think that's what he may be doing with Foden, especially at 31. And he'll be 32 next year. I think injury. That's the sad thing. As you get older, as me and Andy know, Andy more than me, as you get older, your body doesn't heal as quick, or your body will go as quick because you're not as nimble anymore, or whatever.
What are you trying to say?
How's your hamstring?
Hamstring's all right, mate.
No, but like now, he snapped his hamstring and he's out till September. So you've already lost KDB for the start of the season. You know what I mean? This is all I'm saying. It is old in football, FIFA. It is old in football. It's not old in everyday life. But in football, 32, 33 is old. It is. Otherwise, you end up in a Liverpool situation. Oh, God, Alec. Stop talking dirty to me. Talking dirty to me.
No, I get it, mate. I just think.
Dirty talk. Kimmich. Oh, yeah. Thanks very much.
I just realistically, out of these, let's go. Ortega, is he going to stay or go?
Stay. I think he'll sign a new contract.
Right. Walker, stay or go?
Can I say 50-50?
Nope. Stay or go.
If I'm believing my old mate Sam Lay, he's going. Because he's still adamant he's out the door.
Gomez.
Gone. Loan.
Gundo.
Gone.
Bernardo.
Gone.
Phillips.
Stay.
Cancelo.
Went ages ago.
No, he's still on our books. So
more chance of you playing for City than Cancelo has.
At this rate, mate, I think I'll get a game. Palmer.
Pardon?
Palmer.
Loan.
Laporte.
Gone.
Mahrez.
Stay.
So, according to Martin, 3 of the 10 are staying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. I think Gavardio will come in, Kovacic will come in.
Okay.
I think there will be 3 midfielders. I think there'll be a wide midfielder, and I think they may. See, everyone's forgotten about Alvarez. I expect more from him next season.
And people are forgetting about Foden as well, to be fair.
Foden, McAtee, if he comes back. See what I mean? We've still got players there. You got to remember, Caldoon said it today, Pep likes a small squad. Why does he like a small squad? Because he doesn't want the headaches of everyone banging on his door every 2 seconds. Yeah, it's a risky move, but it's a way of getting your EDS in as well, innit? Like I said, maybe an Oscar Bob comes in. Maybe, Borges might come in. I don't know. The trouble is with Borges, maybe he's too direct for Borges too direct for a Pep team at the minute. Pep may totally change his system again next year.
He might start playing with fast wingers.
He might play two up top.
We know that's not going to happen. But
I know it's not, but I'm just trying to entertain it.
But I think we agree. Well, we don't agree. That's the point of this.
All right, then. All right, let me go through that squad for you then.
Yeah.
Ortega.
Now, is this who I think will go or who I wouldn't mind letting go?
No, who you think will go. So Ortega.
I think Ortega will stay.
Walker.
I think Walker will stay.
Gundo.
Gone.
Bernardo.
And the reason why I think Gundo will go is because he knows Kovacic is coming in. I think we've sort of like we're forcing his hand a little bit with that. I think Pep is. I sort of disagree with what you're saying earlier. I think Pep's already made his mind up, brought a replacement in, and just letting Gundo do whatever he wants to. Whatever he wants to do.
All right, where you at with Bernardo?
Bernardo, I think he'll go. Gomez, I think he'll go. Phillips, I think he'll stay. Cancelo, gone.
So hang on a minute. The only thing we've actually debated on here is Kyle Walker. Mahrez.
I think Palmer will stay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you think Palmer's going to stay?
I don't know. Just a gut feel, if I'm honest.
FIFA's asked you a question. Why do you think Gundo's gone? No chance. Because someone tell FIFA Gundo's already gone. He's gone. He's not actually part of us anymore. We released him last week.
Well, FIFA, to be fair, you keep saying Gomez needs more game time. Scott Carson needs more game time. Bring Kai back. I think we're going. If we played that team, I think we'd be playing in the conference in a few seasons.
Yeah, I've got a break news to people. Ilkay Gundogan is actually gone. He's gone. He's not under contract at Manchester City anymore. He is gone. So to be fair, I don't know. He's exactly, Julie. He was released last week.
So let's ask before we have a quick change of subject over the Community Shield, mate. I'm going to ask the guys in the comments. I'm saying the 9 at stroke 10 is risky to get rid of, and I'd be concerned. Martin's not got a problem with it. Do you agree with Andy or do you agree with Martin? Let's see what the guys say.
That's a bit of a thin question because you've just said everyone but one. We've agreed on everything but one. So you've allowed 8 of them to go.
I've not.
You have?
I've not.
The only thing we disagreed on was Walcott, and for some reason you've thrown Palmer out there when the club have already said he's up for loan.
No, I said he'll stay. See, Martin, you're talking bubbles, mate.
Listen, I don't listen. I'm not here for everyone to agree with me. I'm not that bothered. But at the end of the day, the simple fact is, the last time we had a proper refresh,
Scrubber, it doesn't matter about the question. Just put Andy in the comments, mate.
Listen, at the end of the day, the last time we allowed a big refresh to happen, the next season, we became Centurions.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Do you know what it is, Andy? Do you know what it is? As human beings, we don't like change. We can't handle change as human beings.
No, but you can't change too much.
Of course you can.
Can?
Of course you can. Why not?
Right.
Hang on. Put Keith's up. Thank you very much. Put Julie's up.
Sorry?
Put Julie's comment up.
Okay.
Not that one. What source says is released at manchestercityfc.mancity.com, mate. mancity.com said he was released.
Right. Listen. I think we've debated that one to the death. Listen, there's no right. Joking aside, there's no right or wrong.
BB agrees with me.
Who?
BB, beyond belief. I call him BB. I've known him for years.
Yeah. No, there's no right or wrong, and that's the beauty with opinions. Joking aside, I think it's a bit of a risk. You're quite happy to go with that. Only one of us will be not right as such because there's no right or wrong.
We're not letting Haaland and Edison and Stones and all them out the door here. We're talking.
You never know. Right, I think we've got to talk a little bit, mate, because I've got work tonight. But I think it's only right we talk a little bit about the Community Shield at the time and the time of it. God bless the FA. They've come back now and they said, okay, we won't do it on Sunday 5:30. We'll do it at 4:00. It's simply not good enough. It should last season, because it was convenient to the FA. They played it at the King Power Stadium. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was an early kickoff. But even if it wasn't an early kickoff, they played it at the King Power Stadium. But for some bizarre reason, they want to inconvenience a northern club again to go all the way to Wembley on a Sunday, where there's going to be potentially rail strikes again, from what I'm hearing. Stupid o'clock kickoff, but by them bringing it forward to 4:00, God bless them, they think that's good enough. It's simply not good enough. There's no reason why that game cannot be played at the King Power on Saturday, the day before, at 3:00. I'm still fully behind the boycott.
It's the Sunday that's the problem. 4:00 kickoff, I'm all right with. I won't lie, 4:00 kickoff, I'm all right with. That 5, I'm not. I know people think 90 minutes is not a lot. It is. 4 p.m. Because what? If they'd have moved it to 3 p.m., what's another hour? So 4 p.m. I think the majority of people are upset is the day. I think it's more the Sunday than the Saturday.
There's no reason why it can't be the Saturday, though.
I think there's an event on at Wembley.
Well, there was last season, and they put it at the King Power Stadium.
Yeah, I don't think they can this year because the reason they can't do it at the King Power is because Leicester play that weekend. Or are they at home? Because you got to remember they're in the Championship now and they play a week earlier than us.
Well, Villa or not, let's play at Villa Park.
Villa may not allow us.
No, but the principle's the same.
Get permission off the club.
No, it's the principle. Well, let's move. Listen.
No, I agree with you. It is the principle, but the problem is here is Wembley Stadium. It to me, it's more the day than the time. But the reason why I don't think the boycott will work because City fans are going to go no matter what.
I'm not bothered. Listen, I'm not bothered if City fans go or not. It's down to their right. Yeah. I'm not gonna.
It loses all the impetus behind it. It will lose it.
I just feel yet again we're being shafted. Not necessarily just City, but I'm only bothered about City. Next season after, the same thing could happen to other northern clubs. You imagine Newcastle on a Sunday, they've got to travel from St James's all the way to Wembley on a Sunday for half past 5 kickoff. That's just ludicrous.
That's a joke. Yeah, half past. I think the 4 o'clock, because from what I've seen, there are trains. So there was trains for the R5. Listen, I think it's a brilliant course getting behind the MCFC food bank. I think that is an amazing idea coming from the 1894 group. I really do. The problem is you're going to get little Johnny who can't get a ticket normally for an FA Cup final. It's like my other half's cousin has a season ticket, but he wants to take his son. Now, his son can never get to a cup final because they're not season ticket holders. So what he said is, can I go to the Community Shield? It's the only time I'm going to get to Wembley. So they want to go and see Wembley. So there'll be a load. Will it sell out? No. Will we get 30,000 down there? Yeah, I think we will, no matter what. It wasn't. I remember being at the Leicester City game. You know, when we got beat at Wembley, when Ian actually scored that penalty, it was half empty then, but we were still there. And it's all right then. Question back to you then: is the Super Cup on August the 16th right? In the middle of a season, going all the way to Athens midweek?
No.
But I don't see who hard about that.
But you won't potentially see 35,000 City fans having to go all the way over for that.
It will be, because that's how many there'll be available. It's going to be nearly 30,000 tickets available, or whatever there is.
But in reality, that's not going to happen. Wembley is a different.
That's my only, because I have seen the argument come back, and I thought, you know what? It's quite a logical argument, that. Because a lot of people just see the Super Cup as a Wembley, as a friendly, sorry. But we're going to stop midweek and go all the way to Saudi Arabia for the World Club Cup. And loads have already bought the tickets to go out there.
Tickets are not on sale.
No, they've already booked flights and hotels to go out in December.
Listen, we're talking about the Community Shield because it's hot topic at the minute.
No, I agree. I totally agree. I'll be honest, from my point of view, it shouldn't be at Wembley. I don't think any Community Shields be at Wembley. The best experience Community Shield I ever had was at Villa Park when we beat Chelsea 3-2.
Okay, then.
That was a great day out.
All right, let's flip it a little bit then. Why did England play at Old Trafford yesterday? Because it was convenient for the FA?
I don't know. That was a weird one. I don't know why they actually played at the Swans.
Convenient for the. And by the way, that's how it should be with the national team. It's not Wembley's. It's not London.
I love it. Like, didn't Spain used to do that when they toured around Spain?
That's how it should be. It's the country's national team, not Wembley's or London's. It's the country.
White elephant. You know Wembley's a white elephant.
Yeah.
How many millions in debt are they still paying for that? That's why.
Can't shake man's so pay it off. And say, we'll play the Shield at the King Power.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, it's for me, it's not the kickoff time. It's where it's at. Because to me, I don't agree with semi-finals at Wembley. I think we're losing the. When I was a kid, going to Wembley was special. Going to Wembley was that
special.
It was that thing of, oh, did we get to Wembley? Not being funny. This is why City fans don't sell out Wembley year in, year out anymore. Because we've been how many damn times? It loses the allure. It loses the specialness behind it.
There you go, Martin. You're wrong again. 30,000 City fans won't be going because it's only a 32,000 capacity stadium.
All right, well, you're still going to get 12,000, 13,000 City fans will go August the 16th. I know loads who've already booked tickets.
You need to tell all these people who you know that they've booked the wrong country and flights for the Super Cup. It's not in Saudi Arabia.
No. I said World Club Cup in December. The Super Cup is at Olympiacos' stadium on the 16th of August. Because I was trying to get a sneaky holiday to Greece in between, but my missus wouldn't fall for it.
So yeah, it's there's going to be plenty more fallout over this.
What do you? Is it the time? Is it the day? Or is it the venue? Which one is really irking you?
The day.
Or is it just the whole thing?
The day.
So if it was Saturday at 4:00, you'd be all right.
Yeah. And I'd go.
See, to me, it's not the day; it's the venue. The venue's the one for me.
No, but to be fair, yeah. The venue. It's not as if it's a huge prestigious final, because like you've said, mate, it's semi-finals at Wembley. It loses the prestige, doesn't it?
Champions League finals at Wembley next year. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I'll be at that one.
Times you want to go to? No,
I've already bought my ticket.
Piss off! You can drive down and come back the same day with that one. That's what I mean. We could be at Wembley more times than they had next year. We just could be going down. We didn't do our day out in February. No, but here's the funny thing: isn't the Carabao Cup final on a Sunday?
I'm not sure, mate.
It is.
Yeah.
What time kickoff was it?
But that itself is a joke, because.
But we all travel down there.
That's a joke itself. No, the reason why I'm saying that, the Carabao Cup, the League Cup, is never played of a weekend. It's always played in the week, a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So how come all of a sudden the final's played on a Sunday?
I don't know. No, but this
I don't know.
But here's the thing: the Carabao Cup final is always on a Sunday at like 4:00, and we all travel down there and fill out.
Listen, it's going to run.
I don't hear anyone moaning about times of kickoff in the day at the Carabao Cup final.
But that's jammed into a season, to be fair, whereas there's plenty of time to organise the different day, be it the Saturday 24 hours earlier or a different venue for what is effectively a pre-season friendly the week before the kickoff.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to understand. I'm not saying what 1894 are doing are wrong. I agree with the principle of it. I get it. But are they going to have the same hoo-ha in February if we make the Carabao Cup final?
Like I've just said, that is jammed inside a season where there's less chance.
Pre-season curtain opener.
Eh?
This is the curtain raiser, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's a friendly the week before the curtain raiser.
Yeah, when we win it was part of the Formidables. We celebrated the Formidables on the back of that.
That was so last year.
This is what I love. It's like the Carabao Cup. When you win it, it's an important cup. When you don't, it's Mickey Mouse.
No, Keith, right there. The Carabao is a proper-ish trophy, though, and I get that.
I agree, but that's not the argument I'm hearing. When I'm reading under 1894 on Twitter and other people are going, I get back at 2 a.m. It isn't that. It's when that excuse is used to me, because I will throw the exact same excuse back to them in February if we get to the Carabao Cup final of, well, you're not going to the Carabao Cup final because you're not getting home till 2 a.m.
Let's answer BB there. Don't forget the semi-finals as well, mate, because we'd have to play the semi-finals there as well. So
they need to do something with Wembley. Somebody needs to buy Wembley, and either it's losing. It's a law. It's £10 for a bloody bottle of water or whatever it is. It's a joke. Look at UEFA with their mess up in Istanbul, and thank God I never went in the end. Hearing some of them stories.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that I agree. I'm not bothered about the day. The day to me is irrelevant. That's the part I don't agree with. I'm not bothered if it's a Saturday or a Sunday. Because the trouble is, you've gone 3 months of no football. People will go. So it's going to lose its... To call it a boycott, it's only a boycott if it works, but it ain't going to work. Because what you're going to have is 20,000 City fans down there in a half-empty end. And we're going to look stupid again. And that's the problem.
That is going to happen regardless, because as it is, it could be half-assed where people are not going. It could die its death, the boycott. So I think that's going to happen regardless. Listen, mate, some of us have got work to go to tonight, so we're going to have to park it there. Everybody in the comments, thanks very much. Honestly, it's been an interesting show, mate.
Enjoyed that. No, I really. It's a debate that I rumble on. With the Community Shield's debate that I rumble, and I do understand the whole. I do get it, and part of me agrees with it. I haven't decided what I'm doing on it yet. I haven't decided.
So, Martin, before we go, a yes or no answer. Am I right? Of course I'm right. Where did Martin go then? No, seriously, mate. Thanks for joining us. It's been a good debate and stuff like that.
It'll be an interesting summer.
It is. Yeah, listen, guys. You know, as always, everybody in the comments and stuff like that, very much appreciated. Hope you've enjoyed the show too. Can
I just make one very quick announcement? I'll be 10 seconds.
Everyone knows about that change you've had in the hospital, mate.
Keep an eye out on Thursday night with maybe a show because I've not heard from Belly 81. We may have to redraw the KDB frame. Sadly. We gave Belly 81 a week, which that would be fair. But he hasn't come back. We've had no email, no nothing. May change. So keep an eye at Horsey City. We may do an emergency stream on Thursday night. Because it looks like the Bernardo Silva one has been claimed by Ada. That's going out this week. But the KDB one looks like maybe back on the agenda.
Cool. Yeah. Also, I recognise a lot of the names as well from your stream as well, mate. So thanks for those who've come over to us for the first time and
get into 1,000.
Yeah, but. If you don't mind, just subscribe to our crazy channel and stuff like that. And it's been a pleasure as always. Thanks, guys. We will do it again very, very soon. Bye-bye now.